Okay, welcome in, welcome in. It is Sunday, September 21st. It's a cloudy day today. I'm looking out the window and there's not that much sun, so that's crazy because this is Southern California and there's always sun. And I sure as hell pay my sun tax, my good weather tax, so why are we not having good weather? Well, I guess I should say that maybe a change of pace from the heat is good weather. So, needless to say, welcome in everyone. My name is Angelina Tucci. This is the Inland Empire Political News broadcast. My first ever broadcast, well, not first ever broadcast, but first legitimate weekly show. We have a couple of different things to cover, but this will be a weekly show streaming every Sunday at 2 p.m. So be on the lookout. You can follow my social media here. Please hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Leave some comments because we want to definitely hear what your thoughts are in the chat or in the comments of the YouTube videos. Let me know where you're tuning in live from. Are you watching from in the IE? Are you watching from inside California? Are you watching from outside California? Because there's a lot of people watching. All right. So today's headlines, I should say, the things we're going to go over today are Dave 4D. I don't know how to say his name, but he's a up-and-coming rap artist who might be linked to a murder of an Inland Empire girl. So we'll look more into that in a little bit. We'll also be going over a couple of politicians local to the IE. We have some updates on Sabrina Cervantes from Riverside and her whole DUI situation. We still don't know really what's going on there, but some new developments have come out. And then second, we got a little bit of news about Senator Eloise Gomez Reyes. Turns out she has cancer. But on to more sad things too. We are definitely going to go over the baby Emmanuel murder. We're going to tune in to a friend of the show, Ahmed Beloso. He runs On the Tira. It's a TikTok channel, Instagram, and YouTube, where he, up and coming legitimate journalist of the IE. We're going to talk about Candy Olson from Redlands Unified School District Board. She's been doing some crazy things. I mean, that's nothing new. She's doing crazy things. And finally, well, I guess let's hop into it now. And so this is the portion of the show that I am totally ripping from Hasanabi, where we talk about personal news. Again, like I said, this is a brand new show, so welcome in. If you're watching the YouTube edits, I stream this live, and you can watch me on Twitch. Let's just hop into the main story. I want to so let's just watch this video from Black Speakies. Blackie Speaks. He's a pretty good YouTuber, kind of smaller, but he does a great job covering this story, so no need to really do any more explanation because homie's got it here.
Reporting that the car is linked to the popular singer David. The LAPD towed the car from the yard after gathering evidence at the scene. They say the car was reported abandoned in the Hollywood Hills about 5 days ago.
Now I want to talk about this recent story that's gone viral involving David, written D4VD. If you're not familiar with the name, David is a young New York-born, Houston-raised singer who first blew up on TikTok a few years back. He dropped a song called Romantic Homicide, which became a viral sensation and eventually landed him a record deal. Since then, he's carved out a lane for himself, has his own wave going, and is a very successful young man. He's not exactly the biggest mainstream artist, and I'd consider him more on the obscure side of the mainstream, but he has a serious following and is obviously doing very well at the young age of 20 years old. Yesterday, some shocking news broke about him. According to reports, the LAPD found a body inside an impounded Tesla registered to David's.
There's been a girl that had been missing for over 2 years now, and surprise, surprise, her body was found in an impounded car that was registered to his name. What's up with that?
and it's got a lot of people confused about what's really going on. He's a young mainstream singer who's not known for being violent or, has any kind of like prior record or anything like that. And then now his name has been linked to a deceased body. Police say that the car was being held at a tow yard in Los Angeles. Around 12:30 p.m. on Monday, officers responded to calls about a foul odor coming from that vehicle. Apparently a bunch of residents in the area had reported a very foul smell coming from a car, which was this car right here. And they didn't really think much of it until it was really going inside the car. Now someone eventually opened up the car and they discovered human remains inside a bag placed in front of the Tesla. Now, law enforcement say the vehicle had been at the lot for a couple of days before this particular discovery. This case is already making headlines because of who the car belongs to. I'm sure you can understand why this story is so big on social media right now, okay? The LAPD confirmed that the body was found inside a bag in the front trunk of that Tesla, and it was already in a state of decomposition when police made the discovery. At first, nobody knew anything about who it might be, but now officials have revealed that the remains actually belong to a woman. She's been described as about 5'2", weighing just 71 pounds with wavy black hair. She was
not a woman. She was a 14-year-old girl. I feel like we need to make that very clear. She was 14.
And here's a detail that really sticks out. She apparently had a tattoo on her right index finger that literally said, like, shh. David himself, right, he's actually still on tour. He was just performing in Minneapolis the other day, and at least on the surface, he's continuing to do his own thing, okay? Hollister quickly pulled the plug, swapped him out with another model, and just like that, one of these very, I'm assuming,
and I think even Lana Del Rey was gonna have a collab with him, and she's like, nope, we got to put this on pause until we get all the information, because it's just, and this is what you'll have to comment down below. Do you think that the girl died by this dude's hands, or what was up? Because it's just too freaking suspicious that his car that was definitely registered to his name had her remains in it. That's crazy. It's just too, I don't know.
According to TMZ, the LAPD were actually the ones who had to call David directly and tell him, yo, your Tesla is in impound with a dead body inside. And apparently he told them that he had no clue that any of this was happening. Right now, the reports are saying that he's fully cooperating with the police, which is a great sign. And Celeste Rivas, a teenage girl, was identified after her remains were found in the front trunk of a Tesla registered to popular singer David. But since then, detectives executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where he'd been staying at and seized electronics, popular brands, partnered with David like Hollister for campaigns, pulled back, and his world tour was also put on pause. And famous celebrities like Canadian singer Tate McRae distanced herself along with singer Kali Uchis. So let's get into it. Why hasn't David been arrested yet? And what's actually happening behind the scenes? According to NBC Los Angeles, neighbors said the car had been parked there for more than a month before it was finally taken away. She would have turned 15 on September 7, 2025, but her body was found September 8. That means that it was confirmed she died at 14, not 15.
I just dropped in the chat Reddit link of this post. It was like a conversation about this whole situation, and there's a pretty good information in there. Just a lot of people sharing their own stories. So it's from r/Inland Empire, pretty popular subreddit, and a lot of people comment there and stuff. Like this top comment got me. It said, "This is so sad. I remember when these initially popped up on a local IE Facebook group. They said, I still have the Elsinore one." Another commenter said, "I just looked at the David subreddit, and there are really interesting threads connecting David and Celeste. From the matching tattoos to online chats between the two, some way or another he's involved." But what blows my mind, everyone, is that, like, he's 20, right? And she was 14 when she passed away. Even he was like maybe 18 or 19, messing around with a 14-year-old, that's already suspicious to begin with. And then, I mean, when we get deeper into it, the mother of Celeste, or I should say Celeste family, was definitely aware that their daughter was having a relationship with a guy named David. And I think even the mother had pictures of the two of them.
Something else I want to share with you is this. Even though the cause of death hasn't been released or determined yet because of the condition of the remains, one outlet, the Los Angeles Times, has reported that the authorities are treating it as a homicide. Investigators are still trying to figure out just how deep that connection goes, and that's the part we don't know yet. On one hand, the Tesla was in fact registered to David, and her body was discovered inside. On the other hand, Police sources have said it's one of several vehicles linked to David and that multiple people had access to those cars at different times. So just because the car, the Tesla, was in David's name doesn't automatically prove that he was the one behind the wheel or the one who put Celeste there. And that's where caution comes in, because detectives can't just rely on paperwork. They need hard proof. It's not enough to point to the registration. They need forensic evidence and a clear timeline that ties a specific person to that trunk. Without that, an arrest could fall apart in court. And that leads us to where the case stands. I'm deeply invested in finding out what happened to Celeste, and I'm sure you are.
Anyways, shout out to Blackie Speaks for this video. I'm gonna drop the link in chat real quick so y'all can go share, give him some love. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this situation. It's a complicated one for sure, but I really wanted to cover it. It's just with all the abuse of young people and children and this whole Epstein stuff, we got to really remember, I think, that violence against women is not just something that happens on a faraway island, for wealthy people that can pay their way out of anything. Violence against women happens to literally our own neighbors, to our own family, to our own, friends. Like, this girl was 14. There was a video of one of her previous teachers talking about how he remembered her in class and how when she went missing, she just went missing. And I'm not saying that David did that, or that, he was at fault for her death, but she was hanging out with him when she was young. She was ditching school, I think, to go hang out with him, live that young celebrity lifestyle, and just like hang out. It's a sad story, and I could not emphasize enough to everyone to just be careful. Not everyone you meet on the internet is, even if y'all are hitting it off great, not everyone you meet on the internet is gonna have your best interest or care really about your safety. I mean, even if they were dating or if they had broken up or something before then, why did David not say anything about, this girl missing? Instead, they literally found her body first before they went to go talk to him. I'm not 100% on all the facts here, but that's where it's like, please let me know your own thoughts on it. At the end of the day, a young girl is missing because she was hanging around older people who did not treat her like a child, did not respect her, did not value her life. They valued her for whatever else, and then, unfortunately used her up and threw her away, and now she's gone. And her family, bless them, I'm sure they got some sort of peace now, knowing that, their daughter is no longer suffering. She's at rest, and we'll all pray for her. But gosh darn, this is an absolutely awful thing to see happening in our community. So we'll continue with updates on that. But let's go ahead and get into the next story here. On some lighter news, let's cover Senator Sabrina Cervantes. Cops allege that she was driving under DUI, and it's been a whole thing. There's been some new evidence that's come out, but real quick to get you caught up on the story. So real quick from the Inland Empire Community News, shout out to Manny Sandoval. He is a great local journalist, and this story was published 2 weeks ago. California Senator Sabrina Cervantes of Riverside, an openly LGBTQ plus Latina lawmaker, has filed a government claim against the city of Sacramento, alleging that police falsely arrested her for DUI, falsified reports, and retaliated against her over legislation to curb police surveillance. There we go. Could that be the reason why Sacramento State Capitol Police pulled her over and accused her of driving under the influence? I don't know. It's been a crazy story. Okay, the claim filed September 8th stems from Cervantes's May 19th arrest. Oh, she was arrested following a traffic collision near the state capitol. According to the filing, Cervantes was the victim of the crash. Another driver allegedly ran a stop sign and struck her vehicle. That's right. It was a intersection and another car hit her car, but then we have not got a clear answer from anyone on what the actual events were. Okay. The document alleged starkly different treatment between Cervantes and the at-fault driver. The responding officer allowed the other driver, described as a young white woman, to finish a phone call before questioning her, did not ask her to leave the car, and even prompted her with no alcohol today, right? The driver was not breath tested, not asked to show license immediately, and was questioned for less than 3 minutes. By contrast, Cervantes, who had left the scene for medical treatment, was questioned at length at Kaiser Hospital. Officers pressed her with detailed questions about the accident and injuries, asking whether she had been drinking, dismissed her offer to provide hospital test results proving her sobriety. Filing names Officer Daniel Williams, Bailey Foster, and Kevin Lucas, and Sergeant Christian Beal as involved. Officer Foster allegedly told the supervisor by phone, "I do think she's intoxicated." The state senator, while leaving out that Cervantes had volunteered a blood test. According to the claim, Foster later made false statements that she slurred her words. Oh, wow, so he lied. Foster later made false statements that she slurred her words and that her account did not add up, even though security video and body camera footage confirmed her clarity. Despite Cervantes' willingness to undergo a blood test, the officer pursued a warrant anyway. The sworn affidavit, signed under penalty of perjury, claimed she had refused testing and appeared intoxicated. The claim argues those assertions were false and points out that even Officer Williams admitted at one point he had only a reasonable suspicion and a wild guess, not probable cause. The claim also highlights gaps in evidence, including allegations that Officer Foster turned off his body cam for 5 minutes, during a critical discussion about whether to seek a warrant, a violation of Sacramento Police Department policy, and that no body camera footage was produced from Sergeant Beal despite request. Wow, so the police officer, the Sacramento police officers really flubbed this up. Man, what were they like? Why were they trying to essentially blackmail her? That doesn't make sense. And Cervantes contends that the officer's actions were also driven by retaliation. Earlier this year, she introduced SB 274, legislation to curb the misuse of automatic license plate reader systems, which was strongly opposed by law enforcement groups. All right, now we have some reasons as to why Sacramento police would be after her this way. That kind of makes sense, including the Sacramento police chief. Oh, he supported it. The claim also asserted her treatment was motivated by animus due to her ethnic background and sexual orientation. This is not only about what happened to me, it's about accountability, Cervantes said in a statement. The abuse of power that I endured undermines public trust and cannot be ignored. Crazy. All right. Let's see this body cam or this footage that we have from KRCA Channel 3.
Some newly released video here offering a bit of clarity now about a crash in Sacramento that involved State Senator Sabrina Cervantes.
Yeah, following the crash, Cervantes was cited for suspicion of DUI, but the DA later announced it did not plan to charge her. KCRA 3's Curtis Ming joins us with the new video that was released. Curtis?
Well, up top, let's be very clear. This video is from the lawmakers' legal team. They got it from police, but had the ability to edit it however they want it. We've repeatedly requested the raw video from Sac PD. They have not released it, even though early on they indicated they would. All right, so here's surveillance video. It shows the crash May 19th near 14th and S Streets. The driver in that white SUV was cited for running a stop sign. Senator Sabrina Cervantes was in the black car there.
Was she
so
driving?
After the crash, somebody from her own team picked her up, brought her to to the hospital, and that's where police met up with her.
How we see it, if there's something that's requiring of transport and medical care, we have the fire department called.
Well, I don't want to tie up fire and emergency services when there's so many dire needs out there, right? Critical needs out there where, you know, we have someone who could just take me to
I'm
get
not saying it's
seen.
indicative of anything. I'm just saying that is odd. It's different than what we typically see.
Wow.
All right, so also at the hospital, the video shows her offering to take a blood test instead of what's called a horizontal gaze. That's a test that analyzes eye movement.
Could I choose which one?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
If you would like to provide a blood sample, that would be great.
Okay. Let me call her because I want to make sure I'm getting her, you know, her advice.
So she did give a blood sample, and about 2 weeks later, the DA's office announced it would not charge her because the sample tested negative for drugs or alcohol. Earlier this month, her legal team announced they filed a government claim against the city, alleging egregious misconduct and defamation, and this is the first step to filing a lawsuit. Back to you.
Well, I mean, Curtis, as you mentioned, we don't know what else that body camera video could show that her team chose not to include because it was edited. So why won't police just give us the raw video?
Yeah, well, we put in a public records request to the city and the police. The police department says the incident does not meet the criteria for video they have to release by law. We also asked her team to send us the full unedited video, but they said they could not over privacy issues.
All right, Curtis, thank you.
Wait, what's the privacy issues then? Why would her team not? Again, sorry, this is my frustration with this politician. Like, because a couple months back when we first covered this story on the stream, it was just like so up in the air, like nobody knew anything, and it was just like, Senator, why don't you just come out and tell us what the truth is? You know, you would think that instead of going through all these accusations of, you know, being accused of drunk driving, just like her sister, unfortunately, was false, and it's just like her silence was kind of I'm not saying she was, you know, her silence meant that it was true, but it's just like, why not come out and say that these officers were hassling you, you know, and how they were hassling you? It's like they're definitely doing the customer service thing for her when they're like, oh yeah, well, we have to follow this procedure, blah blah blah. It's not usually like that. Blah. Like, they were BSing her for sure. But it's just like, come on, this has been going on for months now that we're barely getting this information. Like, I get that Sabrina, I think, wants to sue Sacramento over this, and it's just like, come on, it's just a waste of time. In my opinion, I think this whole thing, dealing with her, is a waste of time. It's taking away from her being able to do her job. It's taking away from the legitimacy of Sacramento Police Department or whatever, because why are they hassling, you know, a state senator? Like, half of the people that they deal with are there because they're at the Capitol, you know? So, like, what's going on? I just want someone to come out and give us the honest, real truth. But we'll keep putting together the pieces and figure out what was going on.
After a toxicology report found no alcohol or drugs in her system.
The senator plans on suing, saying her reputation has been tarnished.
And now the body camera footage provided by her legal team offering more evidence.
My back is starting to really get me and my spine, so.
Sacramento police body camera video shows them questioning Cervantes in the hospital hours after the crash. Police claimed she had an unsteady gait, plus slow and slurred speech. But Cervantes' attorney says that's not what this video shows.
She gave me her phone number with her first and last name because I told her that this was a state-owned vehicle.
Police got a warrant for a blood test, but the video provided by her
Officer
team
Williams
shows Cervantes suggesting one.
If we could just do a blood test, since I'm going to be getting a full...
Cervantes had another driver take her to the hospital, something officers appeared to find suspicious.
Well, I don't want to tie up fire and emergency services when there's so many dire needs out there.
That is odd. It's different than what we typically see.
Interesting.
Have the evidence that proves irrefutably that the officers were lying.
The senator's attorney, Jim Quadra, claims police targeted the state senator because she is a Latina woman who is part of the LGBTQ plus community. Plus, she was trying to push legislation
I don't know
that
why.
would limit police departments' use of license.
The chat, you'll have to let me know. Do you think the cops targeted her because she was LGBT? I don't think so. I think they just targeted her because she's anti-cop or whatever.
She tells a sympathetic story.
Mark Reichel, local criminal defense attorney unrelated to the case, thinks this will ultimately be settled out of court, but still end up costing the city.
Even if this is a successful suit, that doesn't mean under any circumstance that anyone other than the taxpayers are going to pay these damages.
Oh, Stardust. Or worse, they didn't know who she was, and when they did, they were in deep yeah, that could be it. It could very well be they were just gonna, I don't know, be dicks, and just take advantage of the person who just was in an accident. And Mooney Maria 83 says yes, and there's another reason they targeted it. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to see where this story continues to go. Although now I am kind of more sitting on Sabrina's side. Previous broadcast had me sitting more on the cop side because she was presented as guilty. Yeah. So we'll have to keep seeing where this goes. Either way, like I said, it sucks because it's a waste of time. And as we might see, it might very well be a waste of taxpayer dollars. All right. So getting into another state senator, we have Eloise Gomez Reyes. She was recently here. Again, another story from Inland Empire Community News. All right. Another story from Manny Sandoval from Inland Empire Community News. As you can tell, I like them a lot, but I think they are a great resource for news stories focused on the Inland Empire. So I would definitely say follow them. So yeah, I wanted to point out that Senator Eloise Gomez Reyes, here in the orange suit, as you can see, is here sitting next to California Governor Gavin Newsom. Oh, dang, even Sabrina Cervantes is here in the picture. She's on the right. I'm pretty sure that's her. If I was smarter, I would know who the rest of these people are, but we're not there yet. I'm sure many of you have been hearing how Governor Gavin Newsom has been having little battles with President of the United States, Donald Trump, and also Texas, because this whole war has been about redistricting and drawing the lines that will end up where the Electoral College representatives will be chosen from. So Texas started by redrawing or attempting or wanting to redraw their district lines in order to favor more conservative Republican districts. And Gavin Newsom took it upon himself to do the same thing back and try to redraw California district lines to favor more Democrats. So let's get into the story from Manny Sandoval. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the Election Rigging Response Act legislative package on Thursday, placing Proposition 50 on the November ballot and giving Californians a chance to counter congressional redistricting moves initiated by former President Trump and Republican-led states like Texas. Californians have been uniquely targeted by the Trump administration, and thanks to the hard work of the California legislature, they will have a choice to fight back and bring much-needed accountability to Trump's efforts to undermine the democratic process, Newsom said. This package includes Assembly Constitutional Amendment 8 created by Rivas and McGuire, which would allow temporary congressional maps if other states redraw their districts mid-decade. Okay, that's right, because if you didn't know, district maps are redrawn every 10 years based on the census. And the last census we had was in 2020. So there's absolutely no reason why the district should be redrawn right now in between censuses. Also, Senate Bill 280, sponsored by Cervantes and Pelerin, I don't know, I'm sorry, which establishes the timeline and funding for a special election scheduled for November 4th, 2025. And then Assembly Bill 604, sponsored by Aguilar, Curry, and Gonzalez, which sets a temporary map to be used if Assembly Constitutional Amendment 8 passes. California will not be a bystander to Trump's power grab, said Speaker Robert Rivas. We are acting to defend our state from his attacks by taking it directly to the voters. Chat, what do you think? Would you vote to approve this? Would you, as a Californian, vote to have this special redistricting mid-census cycle to combat what Republicans in Texas are doing? Do you think this is a great idea, or do you think this is a bad idea? Because I personally don't know where to stand on this. I don't think that Gavin Newsom's little tactic of picking fights with Trump is a good idea, and also his wanting to fight fire with fire. I'm not too sure how to feel about that, but it is effective, and it seems to be getting him in the headlines every day. So you'll have to let me know what you think about that. But let's get on with it. Senator Eloise Gomez-Reyes, Democrat of San Bernardino, who stood with Newsom at the signing, said, "This is about protecting democracy, ensuring fairness in our elections, and fighting back against Trump's power grabs. Californians deserve the right to make their voices heard and to hold those undermining the democratic process accountable." New legislation follows the framework Newsom unveiled last week at the Democracy Center for Los Angeles. All right. So we see that Eloise Gomez-Reyes and Sabrina Cervantes are, doing typical left-leaning California Democrat things. They're doing what Democrats do best, and that's pretending to fight against Trump. We'll see if Gavin Newsom actually takes it all the way. But I still feel like Gavin Newsom would have to assemble his team. He needs to have a Newsom potential administration to actually go up against Donald Trump's administration. And I don't think he has it right now. We'll see if he's taken out individual fights. He's doing mini bosses. He's doing mini games. Anything he can do to earn electoral points, Gavin Newsom is doing it. And it seems like California Democrats are there with him. So, getting into a little bit deeper into Eloise Gomez-Reyes, I was surprised to find out that she had cancer, or she has cancer, and has been battling it for the past 8 months. There we go. Okay. Okay, sorry. We need a little bit context. This is just went straight into it. We just went straight back into it. All right. Caption says, the legislator has this is from August 19th. The legislator has come back in full force for the remaining months of the 2025 legislative session to debate and vote on a number of issues that are crucial to the health of our democracy, of our planet, and of our livelihoods. Not to mention, all the bill proposals will need to be heard by the end of day, September 12th. Oh, that was about a week ago. As most of you are aware, I've been battling cancer since December. No, most of us were not aware. I have been following all of her social media for a long time, at least 6 months, and was not aware that she was battling cancer. So, I don't know. I get it. She's older. I'm not blaming her for her age. I'm not blaming her for her health. All I'm saying is, in these days of Joe Biden, here, let me give her a heart just so y'all know I still like her. In this times where we have Joe Biden, who refused to step down until he publicly got on TV and made a fool of himself, then did he realize that, oh, yeah, maybe I should step down. I needed to prioritize my health first, right? Well, with Miss Gomez-Reyes, I do not understand what type of cancer she had, how much it's affecting her, and what she's up to. But I think just like hiding it like this is not good. Democrats need to change that. Democrats, I do not want any more Barbara Feinsteins, okay? Barbara Feinstein died in office at like 92 or something, and she was not even running her stuff. If I wanted to vote for these people's aides to run, do their job for them, let me vote for the individual aides, okay? Don't have your team run everything, and then just to keep your job. I get it, but something's got to change, and I'm calling out Miss Eloise Gomez Reyes for this, because I think we deserve a little bit more information. Not to mention, I reached out to her team at least a month ago to cover the story on preventing suicides off of freeways. It was Senate Bill 800 that Eloise Gomez had sponsored. That went absolutely nowhere, and I feel like they dropped the ball on it. I sent her team email asking some questions about what she plans to do with the bill, since it basically seems like it was completely neutered. First the bill called for the most important bridges that have had incidents to be assessed and fitted with anti-suicide things, whether it be making the fences taller or putting up signs to say that there's help, please call this number, something, right? Well, that bill had changed over the past few months, and now it's just like there's not going to be any bridges that are going to be assessed. It's just going to go to this other department where we don't even know if it's really been established and if they even really care to address the freeway overpasses, especially here in Rancho Cucamonga. The city I live in and the city where that suicide took place a couple months ago. Actually, it was 2 suicides back to back of high school students that took place. And I think that this proposition, or I should say assembly bill, was kind of meant to combat that. But I don't really know how it's going to combat it anymore, since it's basically like just passing the buck. It's passing the buck of taking care of this obvious problem that the overpasses are dangerous, and just passing it off to another department that we don't really know what their goals are, right? Instead of having our local representative or our local legislators deal with it, I feel like they're kind of passing the buck. But you'll have to let me know. The Senate bill is SB 800. If you want to check it out on your own, you can. But yeah, all right. Now, let's get into our third story of the day. I want to talk about Ahmed Beloso, Mr. On the Tira himself. All right. So if you don't know, Ahmed Beloso, or as his Instagram page and TikTok page is literally called On the Tira. I'm going to drop a link in the chat of a very good story about him, LA Times article talking about how he is kind of pioneering this new form of information distribution, right? In a time where, I can't even read this article because it's paywalled. Mr. Ahmed Beloso's, all of his content is free, and he covers anything and everything related to the Inland Empire, California. But most recently, he was covering a sad another missing person story. Okay, here's a video.
Now to a breaking update in Riverside. The parents of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro were back in court this morning. Prosecutors allege Emmanuel was abused over time and killed sometime in early August. His remains have still not been found. And Jake and Rebecca Haro face charges of murder and filing a false police report.
Both parents in court today, and now Jake and Rebecca Haro have their next felony settlement conference. This is set for October 16th. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for October 28th. The judge also signing a protective order, something both defense teams objected to. Today's conference lasted less than 10 minutes, and meanwhile, outside court, volunteers with a group called Emmanuel's Law, we've talked to them before, gathered this afternoon pushing their petition to strengthen child protections.
So Emmanuel's Law is a grassroots movement born from foster families and child advocates across the U.S., and its mission is simple: to stop children from being returned to abusers and to create a public registry for child offenders.
Volunteers have been following the case. Ortiz says they collected more than 200 signatures from supporters this weekend in Joshua Tree. Tonight, she says they plan to collect signatures outside the Haro home in Cabazon. You can see the memorial there. Meanwhile, we do have reached out to officials for updates on the investigation. Tonight, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department telling me there are no new updates on the search for Emmanuel's remains for now.
That's crazy. So the story is that this couple missing their child, and they might be at fault. We don't know yet. I mean, it's very suspicious. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because Mr. On the Tira was covering where he was trying to get questions or trying to question Riverside Police Department, I think. And they were like, no, he's not real news. Damn. Oh, here we go.
His family is desperately searching for him.
I'm Mary Boyce-Housen. I'm the mother of Rebecca's mom. Jake is, Emmanuel is my grandson.
The little boy from Yucaipa.
From Yucaipa is my grandson. Please help us find him. You know, if you have him, please return him. We don't want nothing. We will not do anything. Just leave the baby somewhere where we can find him, somewhere that is safe for him. Please, I'm begging you to please just do the right thing for this baby.
Yeah, we don't know.
He's only a little baby. He doesn't know nothing, okay? He can't talk. He can't just say nothing, okay? So please just return the baby, please.
Emmanuel
Haro, yes.
7 months old.
7 months old.
About 20 pounds.
20 pounds, yes.
Wearing a black Nike onesie.
Onesie, yes.
His mother?
She's not doing good, you know. She's heartbroken, you know.
She was injured?
Yes, she was injured. She was knocked out.
There's no video?
No video. Store doesn't have video.
Do we know exactly where it happened?
Exactly. It's right here. The truck was parked here.
Here in this.
Right here in this parking space. The truck was parked here.
Wow.
And she got out of the truck to change the baby. And when she got out, she was trying to get the diapers, the bag, you know, to change the baby because he had pooped before she went into the store.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that all of a sudden, you know, they just say, hola, and, you know, they hit her and knocked her out. And she said, all I saw was white. She says, when I came to, you know, she started running into the store and asked if anybody had seen the baby. And they said no, so she ran all around the store looking for the baby or for somebody, you know, and called 911. That's all I can tell you.
Do we know how long she was unconscious, or was she unconscious?
She was unconscious. No.
Is there any witnesses that we know of?
No witness, no.
Any leads at all? The police, any? Nothing.
They don't tell us nothing. That's the worst thing, you know, that they don't tell us nothing.
I'm so sorry.
Keep your eyes open for this baby, please, just.
Still trying to figure out what the developments on this story are. It's just crazy. The reason why I'm covering it is because Ahmed Beloso was attempting to get information / do his own research and an investigation, you know, doing what journalists do, right? And I think Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco was mad that he had been getting involved in this. There we go. Heck yeah.
You don't have the power. You don't have the authority. You are not anointed by God. Emmanuel sits on my shoulder, not yours, Holmes. because this is the first time I ever seen you. You ain't out the motherfucker. I got fucking cuts on my leg from passing out. I got fucking bone marrow scars on my back, homie. From a week ago at your hospital in beautiful Riverside community.
Okay. So yeah, that's Ahmed Beloso, pretty cool dude, going out there doing the work, trying to make the news happen because we live in a place where there's not that much news. All right, next story, and I guess I should say last story for the day. I want to talk about Redlands Unified School District member Candy Olson. She is an interesting character. Redlands Unified School District board member Candy Olson destroying a local roadside memorial. This is from a Instagram page called Together for Redlands. They're definitely have a mission to kind of not have Candy Olson sit on the board anymore. But to their defense, she does a lot of mean things, and she may be a Nazi. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out together. So this is just Candy Olson. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deep. Okay, there she is. Literally pushing off all the little memorial display that the high school kids did. That's crazy because she didn't like it. Okay, you get it. There she is. That's definitely her. Okay, so Candy Olson, yes, Razor 511, this is real. Because she was accused of liking a Nazi Groyper post on Instagram. And it's crazy. This is from NBC News by Tyler Kincaid. A school board meeting in Redlands, California, devolved into a name-calling and Nazi comparisons this week amid a heated argument over the board member's social media activity. Candy Olson, part of the board's conservative voting majority, has hit like on Instagram carousel of images that include racist and anti-Semitic memes. According to a screenshot collected by a group of parents, more than 1,005 people have written to the board as part of a campaign for a local activist group. Together for Redlands is calling for Olson's resignation. Olson, who declined interview request, has said she intended to like some of the more apolitical images on the Instagram carousel instead, liking a meme showing a chicken dressed in high heels, and has unfollowed the accounts. So the accounts were, let's see, Candy Olson's Problematic, shared post on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Oof. Candy Olson reposted, and it says, oh my God, it says Student of the Year, and it says it has the inclusive LGBT flag, and there's writing that says gay, A-word, N-word. Okay, why would Candy Olson repost that? That's just weird. Okay, Candy Olson shared on Facebook or something. Guess I'm not allowed to attend the Redlands Unified School District Black People's Summit since I'm not a person of color. Sounds a bit racist to me. Oh man, okay. Candy Olson, I want reposted this picture of George Floyd, and the caption says, I want you to be honest for this question. Should Trump remove George Floyd monuments, yes or no? And Candy Olson said yes. She did this on her public account. Oh man, here she is making fun of George Floyd again. This is a picture of George, and it says Democrats. I don't know how you can support a felon. And I think the Democrats are talking about Donald Trump, but it's a picture of George Floyd. She reposted, I think this was the Proud Boys who did a sign over the freeway, and it says Trump 2024 Democrats can suck my D. And she said Redlands is back with 3 Ks. No. Okay. Let's watch the video of her explaining
Personal social media account that I use as a private citizen. Some of the political memes and satire posted by one particular account I used to follow are funny, but other material is just something I do not need to be associated with. Because I like a funny political meme from time to time does not mean I subscribe to all of the memes that are posted by that account. What's happened with all of these signs and the screenshots that you've used through the slides does not mean that I like the slides. For example, the ones I'm seeing right there, I don't like those slides. I don't like those memes. I did find one slide funny in that deck, and I unfollowed them. Please don't interrupt me. Excuse me. I'm just telling you that just because I like one slide out of a deck of 18 does not mean I like all slides, which is what's been artifactually created and manufactured by assuming that I like every single slide.
Oh, man.
Okay? No, I do not like every slide, and I have a rational mind that does not mean I like all or nothing, okay? Why are they continuing to interrupt me?
Okay, for some context, I don't think she gets paid to be on the school board. She has an actual job. She's a surprise nurse for Loma Linda Hospital, I think. So nothing against nurses per se, but it's just like, come on. Of course, this most drama baiting person on the school board would be a nurse or a LVN or something like that. But yeah, she's clearly saying that, yes, I like these memes. I did not like all of them. Why would she repost it if she didn't like it? Because she got caught. She got caught on her sock account. Or no, she got caught being horny for Nazi stuff on Maine, and people called her out on it. She was, she couldn't even, have a sock account for her Nazi stuff. She had to do that on her main account.
At any rate, I unfollowed them and I'm moving on. I am not the things people want to pin on me, and you all know that. The massive hate campaign launched in attempts to ruin my reputation with slander, defamation, doxing my work, doxing my nursing license with the Board of Registered Nursing is not only outrageous, but it's illegal according to penal and civil codes. This all happened because the radical progressives in this town don't agree with policies I'm working towards. I can tell you that I am so touched by the massive outpouring of support I've received over this last week. I don't know how many times I've been told it is a badge of honor to have reached this level of consternation.
There you go. She said it's a badge of honor to reach this level. I don't know what the word she said after that, but it's like, okay, if you don't like it, don't share it or simply don't talk about it. But that's the thing. She messed up and she got caught liking these, she's saying these evil progressives are coming after me with their SJW agenda. And it's like, please, she's trying to ban books in Redlands. She's just following the Republican Christian conservative mom playbook.
I am here because I care deeply about the kids and parents in our community, and I will continue to work towards protecting the innocence of children and bringing back high quality education that is free from political bias.
It's really sad, and I hate that that this is being focused on, because there's so many other terrible things that are happening in Redlands. But anyways, y'all get it. Yeah. Like I said, she's made it her mission to ban books because they talk about gay or trans kids. She definitely wants to ban, or attempted to ban, the trans flag from being in classrooms. And it's just like, let the kids do their things, geez. Yeah, see, look, the carousel she liked included pictures of Adolf Hitler and Jesus, apparently, commiserating about Jewish people. An image of Ned Flanders, a character on The Simpsons, dressed in a Nazi uniform, and a meme that appeared to joke about him hitting on LGBTQ pride parades with a car. Here's Ned Flanders dressed in like an SS uniform. All right. Oh, well, that was the last big story I had for today. I want to give a little shout out to some activism in Ranch Cucamonga, again on these overpasses that are not very suicide protected. There you go. See, this is like one of the overpasses. They put their signs up to kind of protest against the Proud Boys doing their signs. Good for them. California flag, that's right. Yeah, so pretty cool. Release all the files and yes on Prop 50. So, we're gonna end the stream now. If you guys enjoy this content, please hit subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. We went over some crazy stuff today. My name is Angelina Tucci. Thank you for being part of Inland Empire political news. And I hope everyone else has a great rest of your night. I will be back next week. Sending you all California love because it's important. Some others out the door. We can't keep on going in the middle of the